Welcome back to another episode of Tool Shop, and today I'm going to be continuing on my square circle rounding hammer. You guys saw me make this in my last video, make sure to go check that out. I have this piece of handle material. I'm going to cut this down a little bit so it's a smaller handle, and then I will start shaping it, and we'll start making a handle for my first forged hammer. Let's get it. Before we get started on the handle making, you've seen this probably in the background a little bit. This is my new horizontal bandsaw. There's a few things that I've been trying to go ahead and fix up, make it running properly, nicely, smoothly. So I'll just spend probably 10-15 minutes cleaning these up, and then we'll start working on the handle. Right now I have a zirconium disc on that is a 40 grit that I only use for wood, and it does some great stock removal. I've carved a few handles with it. Aside from this hammer being inspired by the kind of Brian Brazeal rounding hammer that's also produced by Alec Steele as well, the technique I was using with the angle grinder was a technique that I learned from watching a Brian Brazeal YouTube video that he made. You hold the corner of the wood that you're trying to work on right at the edge of the table, right near you. You're holding the angle grinder nice and snug, you're holding it at the far end, pushing it into the table, so that way it's kind of only pivoting there, and then you just drag the grinder back and forth while rotating it. He explains it really well in this video. I'll see if I can find a link to that video and put it in the description. I'm going to go ahead and cut a straight line down about 1.5 inches down this, and then I will find or pull down a piece of walnut and cut a wedge, start putting it together. Go. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe away the excess glue. Once I get it flush, I'll come back in and put a metal wedge in. I'm going to go ahead now and rub the handle with linseed oil, and then I'm going to char it into the handle to help seal it. This is still drying up, but in the meantime, I have this double boiled linseed oil here. One thing when using this oil is that you need to keep in mind that any cloths you use with it, you need to make sure to either properly dry or dispose of properly, because this is a burning oil. So very dangerous if you just throw out the rags into a garbage can. With the lack of airflow, it can actually cause the rags to combust on their own, which can cause a lot of house fires. So please keep that in mind if you're ever using this. start burning in the oil. So another thing that I really like to use is beeswax, just for sealing woods and metals and stuff like that, is that it produces a really nice hot finish as well as a very grippy texture once it is applied into the surface. Now obviously beeswax does take heat to melt in, however with, for example, this hammer where I've just charred it and the oil is giving off a lot of heat because it's still burning into the wood, works really nicely because it just uses that excess heat to melt in. When I go to melt in the beeswax, after I rub it on, it becomes absorbed into the wood, which gives a very nice and strong protective finish to it. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. This is how the hammer turned out. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with this. It looks beautiful, it feels lovely, it has a great balance point to it. I'm just really excited to use it. Like, I cannot wait for tomorrow when I can get out and start pounding away with it. And just for comparison, so this is probably about a 3.5 pound hammer now. 3.5, 3.75 pound hammer. This is the 1.5 pound hammer I use quite frequently. This is the small, frequent one I use for forging. This is my factory bought 3.5 pound hammer, so this is probably the closest comparison that it is. This one's a cross peen, this one's a rounding hammer. And just the size of it though, I find the size comparison quite interesting, especially with the design and the shape of it. This is a 2 pound hammer compared to it, once again store-bought, and a 4 pound hammer as well. I gotta say, definitely a lot of fun making this guy. It taught me a lot of new things, and I'm definitely going to start making some more of these guys to not only practice, and just to see if I can make a few to sell. Definitely gonna have fun with it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop a big thumbs up and comment what you thought down below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.